All right, June 2025, paper 6, variant 2. All right, May, June 2025, 1 hour paper, paper 6, variant 2. We will start from question number 1. In question number 1, they are saying a student determines the internal diameter D of a test tube. All right, the apparatus is assembled as shown in figure 1.1. So now you can see beta, a stand is placed on the bench and the test tube is placed in this position with the help of the clamp. This is the height of the test tube. All right. Now in part A, they are saying the student fills a measuring cylinder with water up to 100 centimeter of mass. So basically what they are doing, the student is measuring cylinder with water up to 100 centimeter cube. Basically, student is using the measuring cylinder to measure the volume of water till 100 centimeter cube. Pour some water from the measuring cylinder into the test tube. So basically, what we are doing, we are pouring the amount of water from the measuring cylinder into the test tube. All right, students. Now, they are saying a full size diagram of the bottom part of the test tube is shown in figure 1.2. So let me tell you again, beta, full size diagram means we have to measure the diagram. You can take the measurement from the diagram, all right, with the help of the meter rule. Now they are saying on figure 1.2, measure the height h in centimeter to the nearest millimeter. So we have to measure the height with the help of the meter rule in nearest millimeter, and we have to record the result in the top row of table 1.1 on page 4. So let me tell you, this is page 3 and this is page 4. So we have to record the value in table 1.1 on page 4. All right, so how we will record this reading, students? We will use the meter rule to record this reading. All right, so where is meter rule? It must be here. All right. So we will keep the meter rule in vertical position like this, and we have to record this reading. Acha, might be possible we will not get the correct answer. The reason is that I have maximized this picture. All right, I have zoomed in this picture, so might be possible we will not get the accurate answer. But I'm telling you that how we have to keep the meter rule. Like for example, the meter rule 0 must be aligned with this dotted line. And we will take the last reading till this position. So we are able to calculate the height of this liquid with the help of the meter rule. All right, so the height we will get here. Let me tell you, students, the height we are getting here 3.4 centimeter. So you have to do this measurement on the hard copy beta, so you will get the correct accurate answer. All right, so let me write the answer here that we are getting the height 3.4 centimeter. That is the height of water in the test tube. All right. Now, in the next part, what they are saying, in the next part, they are saying figure 1.3 shows the volume of water remaining in the measuring cylinder. So this is measuring cylinder. It can measure the volume of water, and this is the remaining water volume in the measuring cylinder. Take the reading R of the volume of water remaining in the measuring cylinder. All right. Well done, Suresh. So we have to record the reading which is remaining in the measuring cylinder. All right. But Suresh, I think you have made some mistake. This reading. Acha, we will take the lower meniscus or upper meniscus, students, because this is water. So we have to record the volume of water. So that must be lower meniscus. All right, that must be lower meniscus. So we will record the lower meniscus reading. So lower meniscus reading is 89 centimeter cube. All right, students. Lower meniscus reading is 89 centimeter cube. Now what they are saying, we have to record this reading R in the top row of table 1.1. So let me write here that we are getting 89 centimeter cube. This is the remaining amount of water in the measuring cylinder. All right, well done, students. Now, they already have given us the formula, and I told you, students, that what is the interesting thing about the ATP, that you don't need to memorize any formula. All the formulas are mentioned in the paper. So just we have to put the values in the formula, show calculation, and write the answer in the table. So V is equals to 100 centimeter cube. All right. So 100 minus 89, what we will get? We will get 11 centimeter cube. 11 centimeter cube is the volume of water which we have poured in the test tube. So what I will do, students, I will simply put the volume of water in this table, that is 11 centimeter cube. Now we have completed the table. All right. Now, students, we have done the part 3. I'm moving towards on the page number 4, part B. In part B, that they are saying the student adds more water from the measuring cylinder into the test tube. Measure the new height h of the water in the test tube. Measure the new reading R of the water in the measuring cylinder. Calculates the volume of water V in the test tube. Repeat the procedure for 3 more values. So you can see student have already done this experiment, this one and this one. And now the student is repeating this value 3 times. He is measuring the height of water in the test tube. Then he is taking 100 centimeter cube of water in the beaker and he will pour the water in the test tube. Then he will measure the remaining amount of water and then the volume of water in the measuring cylinder. All right. Sorry, in the test tube. Now they are saying it is important to avoid line of sight parallax errors when reading the scale of the measuring cylinder. Describe how such errors are avoided. You may draw a diagram. So students, how we can avoid the parallax error? While taking the measurement from any instrument, we have to avoid the parallax error. It means we have to keep our line of sight perpendicular to the meter rule. Exactly. Line of sight perpendicular to the measuring instrument. So if you draw the diagram here, students, just give me 1 minute. This is the test tube. All right. Sorry, measuring cylinder. All right. This is the measuring cylinder. And let me draw the volume of water. This is the lower meniscus of water. Okay. Now we have to measure the volume of water. So what should I do? First of all, student, we have to take the lower meniscus of water. So now I will draw one straight line here. And how we have to keep our eye, students, we have to draw the eye perpendicular to the measuring scale. So you can see the eye is making exactly 90-degree angle with the measuring scale. And remember, beta, if you will draw the eye in this position, so you will get the incorrect reading. So this is the incorrect position. If you will draw the keep the eye at this angle, so it means you will get the incorrect reading. So this is the incorrect position. So this is the right answer, that we have to keep our eye perpendicular to the measuring scale. So how we have to write the answer? I'm writing on my screen. We have to make sure that line of sight is perpendicular to the measuring cylinder. All right. Line of sight means human eye should be perpendicular to the measuring cylinder. So we will get the accurate answer. And one more thing we can add here, it's a 1 mark question. If such type of question will be asked of 2 marks, so we can mention here that we have to read the lower meniscus to avoid the error. Because if the student will take the upper meniscus, so obviously reading is incorrect. So we have to mark here that we will read the lower meniscus of water. Are you understanding this question, students? Acha, in this question, they are saying you may draw a diagram. So when the examiner is giving you choice that you may draw a diagram, so I will urge you that you have to draw the diagram so you will get the correct answer. All right, students? Okay, just give me 1 minute. Part C, in part C, they are saying plot a graph of volume in centimeter cube on y-axis. We have to take the volume in on y-axis against h centimeter on x-axis. Start your axis at the origin 0, 0. So examiner has restricted us that we have to start the axis from the origin. Draw the best fit straight line. Best fit straight line means we don't need to join all the points. We have to draw the best fit curve, right? We have to join the maximum points. All right. So basically on y-axis, we have to take the volume in centimeter cube. All right. On x-axis, we have to take the height in centimeter. Now we have to do the scaling of our graph. All right. So where is the table? Table is here. So let me take the picture of the table. So we have can. All right. We can take the reading properly. All right. So now students, we have to plot the graph between volume and height. All right. We have to draw the graph between volume and height. Just give me 1 minute, beta. Mm, All right. So now you can see volume versus height. So height is given from 3.4 to 13.6. Height range is given from 3.4 to 13.6. So now we have to set the scale first. All right. So let me zoom this picture so we can see the big boxes. You can see this is the one big box. All right. And we have to extend the reading till 13.6 mean 14. 1 minute. This one. Okay, so we have to take the reading till 14 centimeter. So now students, let me change the color so we can mark. Okay, now 0. This must be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you can see the 80% graph has been covered. So it means we are taking the scale of 2 centimeter, which is equals to 10 small boxes. All right. On y-axis, beta, what should I do? On y-axis, the readings are given. You can see on y-axis, we are taking the volume and the last reading is 47 centimeter cube. It means till 50 centimeter cube. So now students, how many boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 boxes are there. So we can take the reading of 10 small boxes. That is must be equals to 10 centimeter cube. So now students, let me write here 10, 20, all right, 30, 40, and this box is 50 and one is 60. All right, so we have to mark the reading till 60 centimeter cube. Now we will start plotting of this graph, student. Height is 3.4 and the volume is 11 centimeter. Height is 3.4. So 3 will lie between 2 and 4. All right, and the volume is 11 centimeter cube. So height must will 3.4 will lie in between 3, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 will lie here. All right, 3.4 will lie here, student, and the volume is 11 centimeter cube. All right, so now the next reading is 5 centimeter height and 16 centimeter cube. So 5 centimeter will lie here, students, 5 centimeter and 16 centimeter cube. So my eyesights are not that much strong, so that's why it is difficult for me to plotting. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So 5 centimeter, 16 centimeter cube. I hope I have drawn it correctly. Now the 7.6 centimeter and 25. 7.6 centimeter and 25. So 25 will must lie here. 6. 6.2, 6.4, 6.6, 6.8, 7, 7.2, 7.4, 7.6. So that we have to mark the cross here. All right. Now, students, the next is, I hope you are understanding, 10.3 and 36. 10.3 and 36. All right. So 10 line is here. This is 10, 10, 10.2, 10.3 will lie here. All right, 10.2 and the next, oh, I forgot. Sorry, beta, 10.3 and 36. Okay. So 10.3 will lie here. Okay. And we have to plot 36. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. These boxes are very small for my eyes. So that's why I'm facing difficulty. The last reading is 13.6 and 47. 13.6. So this is 10, 12, 13 will be after 5 boxes. So 12, 12.2, 12.4, 12.6, 12.8, 13, and 13.6 will lie at this point, and the reading is 47, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 will lie here. So I hope you have understood. I know student it's difficult to plot these points. So now you can see we are getting these type of scattered diagram. All right. So now we have to draw the line of best fit curve as they have mentioned in the question, that we have to draw the line of best fit curve. So you can see if I am keeping my ruler like this, so maximum points are joining. All right, so let me tilt this scale. Okay, so maximum points are joining like this. So what I will do, I will draw the straight line. All right, students, I will draw the straight line so that we will get the maximum straight line, best fit line. Is it clear to you, students? Now I can remove the ruler. So you can see we are getting the best straight line. Now in the next part, for this drawing, beta, you will get 4 marks. So I hope you have understood the presentation of graph. Now in the part D, they are asking determine the gradient of your line. Show all your working and indicate on the graph the value you use. देखिए beta, when we are finding the gradient, remember students, we have to take two extreme values, not the middle values. We have to take the two extreme values. So one value we will take from the minimum level and the other value we will take from the maximum level. All right. So now student, what we have to do, we have to draw the gradient. We have to find the gradient. So first of all, I will take the minimum value at 2. All right. Because I find it easier to take the value at 2. So now I will draw one straight line at 2 here because we have to find the gradient. So you can see student how accurately I am trying to measure this gradient values. So you have to do the same pattern in the exam paper. All right. So now students, you can see this value must be x1, that is 2 centimeter. And what must be the value of v1, students? Y1. What must be the value of y1? 6 centimeter. Well done, Suresh. 6 centimeter cube is the value of y1. Now, students, what I will do, I have to take the another value obviously to find the gradient. So now I will take one maximum value. So maximum value I am taking here. Let me take the maximum value on 14. Okay, I am taking the maximum value on 14. Okay, so now students, let me draw the straight line here. So you can see I'm getting the straight line at 14. All right, and now the line has become little bit tilted. So let me erase this one because we have to take the line very accurately. So this is 14 students. So let me draw the straight line again. Keep the ruler closer. Okay. Now, students, you can see this line is 14. Well done. Now we have to keep the meter rule horizontal, so we will get the reading of y2 as well. Now it's perfectly horizontal. All right. So now I will draw the one horizontal straight line. So now, students, we have to write the value of x2 and y2. So x2 value is 14. All right, and y2 value is, we are basically two boxes below the 50, so we are getting 48. So now I hope you have understood how I have taken these values. So now we have to find the gradient, student. So gradient formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 value is 48, y1 value is 16, and x2 value is 14. Well done, beta. And x1 value is 2. Now, students, we can easily simplify this and we will get the answer of this gradient. Okay, so 48 minus 16, what we are getting? We are getting 32. All right. And 14 minus 12, 14 minus 2, we will get 12. Okay. So 32 divided by 12, what we are getting? We are getting 2.66. So the gradient we are getting here 2.66. Is it clear to you, students? Is it clear to you? Did you understand how should you draw the graph and how to find the gradient of this graph? All right. Can I clear the screen, student, if you have noted down each and everything? All right. Now, students, I'm going to clear the screen. Okay. Mm, so the gradient value we were getting what was the value of gradient? Student, we were getting the gradient value 2.66. All right. So now in the next part, they are asking calculate the now the internal diameter of a cylinder is given by the equation d is equals to under the root k, d is equals to k under root g, and the value of k is given, that is 1.13 centimeter. We have to calculate the d for the test tube. And what is d, student? D is the internal diameter of the test tube. So how should I do the calculation? D is equals to K is 1.13, then square root of G. G is the gradient and its value is 2.66. So now just we have to do the simple calculation, students. All right, we have to take the square root of 2.66. Then we have to, uh-oh, 1 minute. We have to multiply it by 1.13. All right. So now we are getting the diameter of the internal test tube, that is 1.84. So diameter of the internal test tube is 1.84. Is it clear to you, students? 1.84 is the diameter of the internal test tube, and the gradient we were getting 2.66. Clear? All right. Now, students, we are moving towards the last part. In the last part, they are saying suggest one reason why your calculated value for D is only approximate value. So basically, the value which we have calculated here, it's not the exact diameter of the test tube, internal exact diameter of test tube. It is an approximate value. What is the reason behind this? So basically, students, we are finding the diameter of the test tube by using the formula k square root of g, where g is the gradient, students. And you can see we have drawn the line of best fit curve. So it means all the points are not exactly joined. All right, so it means we are getting the approximate gradient. So that's why, students, we are getting the approximate diameter of test tube. So that's why the value is not exactly correct. It is the approximate diameter. So how we have to write the answer? That line of best fit gives an approximate value of gradient, which will give approximate diameter. Is it clear to you, students? Did you understand this question, beta? All right. Okay, so now we have understood this one. We have completed question number 2. I'm moving towards the next question, that is electricity. Question number 2. In question number 2, they are saying a student investigates a light dependent resistor LDR. The student assembles a series circuit consisting of a power supply, a switch, a 470 ohm resistor, and an LDR. So now you can see this is the circuit, student. This is the power supply, DC power supply, a switch, a 470 ohm resistor which is connected between the points X and Y. And you can see this terminal is empty. Now they are saying complete the circuit by adding the correct symbol for an LDR between Y and Z. So we have to draw the LDR here. So LDR is light dependent resistor. First of all, it is a resistor, not LED, not diode. So it means these two cannot be a correct answer. It's a light dependent resistor. It means light is shining on it. All right, these arrows are showing that the light is emitting from this resistor. All right, so it means this symbol is not correct. This one is the correct answer. So what we have to do, students, we have to draw the symbol of light dependent resistor. It's a simple resistor and two arrows which are moving outward. They are showing that, oh, 1 minute. Sorry, my mistake. All right. So now you can see these two arrows are showing the light intensity shining on it. So that's why it is a light dependent resistor. Now in the next part, they are saying the student closes the switch, connects a voltmeter across the 470 ohm resistor. So student is connecting the voltmeter across this fixed resistor 470 ohm. Record the reading on the voltmeter, then opens the switch. Figure 2.1. On figure 2.1, draw a voltmeter connected to measure the potential difference across the 470 ohm resistor. So it's a very easy question, students. We know that a voltmeter is always connected in parallel. in parallel combination with the component. So what I will do, students, I will connect one voltmeter in parallel combination with this 470 ohm resistor. All right. Now in the next part, they are saying the voltmeter reading is shown in figure 2.3. This is figure 2.3, student, and you can see this is the needle of the voltmeter, and we have to record the reading VXY. XY they are using here because you can see the voltmeter is connected between the terminal X and Y. All right. So we have to record the reading of voltmeter. So you can see, student, there are 10 small lines between 0 and 1. 10 small lines. So it means 1 volt it is equals to 10 small lines. So one line is representing 1 divided by 10, 0.1 volt. So one small line is representing 0.1 volt. So this must be 5, 0.6, 0.8, sorry, 0.6, 7, and 8. All right. So it is representing 0.8 volt. All right. So now, students, we have to write the reading of voltmeter here, that is equals to 0.8 volt. Now, students, in the next part, the current I in the circuit is calculated using the equation. So I is equals to voltage across the terminal XY divided by the resistance, and resistance value is given 470 ohm. So it's a very simple question. You can see the formula is given and just you have to put the values in the formula, simplify it, and you will get 2 marks. Very easy question, student. So now we will use the formula I is equals to Vxy divided by R. So the voltage across this voltmeter is 0.8 volt, which we have calculated in measured in the previous part, and the resistance is given 470 ohm. So now I will use my calculator. 0.8 divided by 470. So what we are getting, students, we are getting 0.0017. All right, so we are getting a very small current, students. So you can write the value of current 0.0017. All right, 0.0017, and you have to mention the unit as well. The unit of current is ampere. All right. Did you understand this calculation, students? Well done, Inaya. All right. Now in the next part, part D, they are saying the student closes the switch, connect the voltmeter between point Y and Z. So now what the student is doing, he is disconnecting the voltmeter from this position and connecting the voltmeter between the terminal Y and Z. So now basically what he is doing, he is measuring the potential difference across this LDR. All right. Now they are saying record the voltmeter reading VYZ, which is already mentioned 2.2 volt. Calculate the resistance RV of the LDR in the bright light using the equation. So you can see the LDR resistance has been measured in the bright light. All right. So again, students, we have to use the formula which is given in the question. All right. Current value we have calculated in the previous part, and we know that the current is same in the series circuit. So we will use the same current. So now, students, RV is equals to VYZ is 2.2 volt and current is 0.0017. So now we will divide both values, students. 2.2 divided by 0.0017. So what we are doing, students, we are getting 1294.11 ohm. 1294.11 ohm, which is the resistance of B when the bright light is shining on it. 1294.11 ohm. Are you understanding this calculation, students? Any confusion here, beta? All right. So now you can see these questions are very easy and simple. We have done this part as well. Now in E part 1, they are saying the student covers the LDR with a piece of card. So you can see this reading we have calculated when the bright light is shining on the LDR. All right. And now the student covers the LDR with a piece of card and repeat the procedure described in part B and D. So it means how he is repeating the experiment. He is measuring the potential difference across the XY, which is 0.15 volt. And initially we were getting the potential difference 0.8 volt. All right. Now the potential difference across the YZ. So YZ means we are measuring the potential difference across the LDR, that is 2.9 volt. But in the previous part, we were getting 2.2 volt. So now they are saying calculate the resistance RD by using this equation in the dark. In the dark, when the LDR is in the dark. So here we have calculated the resistance value when the LDR is in the bright light or light, and now we have to calculate the resistance when the LDR is in the dark. So now students, D is representing when the LDR is kept in the dark position. Dark position means we are covering the LDR with a piece of car. So 470 ohms, 470 multiplied by the voltage across YZ is 2.9. Vxy is 0.15. So just we have to put all the values in the calculator and we will get the answer. So 470 multiplied by 2.9 divided by 0.15. So what answer we are getting, students? We are getting 9086.6. All right, 9086.6. So let me write here. The resistance is 9086.6 ohm. So you can see the previous, oh, 1 minute. Let me clear the screen, students. You can see, student, that the previous resistance was 1294 ohm, which was very low. And now the new resistance value, when the LDR is covered with the dark, so you can see the LDR resistance has been increased. So it is 9086.6 ohm. Now in part 3, they are saying the student remove the card from the top of the LDR and slowly lift it vertically upward away from the LDR. So what the student is doing, he is moving slowly the card in the upward direction from the LDR until the card is 30 centimeter above the LDR. Now they are saying the student observe and record the reading on the voltmeter across the LDR VYZ as the card is raised. So now you can see the table is showing the reading. Height is given 0 to 30 centimeter. All right. And the potential difference across the LDR is given. So basically, student, this is LDR. All right. And the voltmeter is connected in parallel combination with LDR. So what they are doing, the student is raising slowly and gradually the card in the upward direction from the LDR. So initially the card was on the LDR. So the distance between the LDR and card is 0 centimeter. And slowly or gradually we are raising the card till the height will reach 30 centimeter. And now you can see the change in the potential difference till 15 centimeter. The potential difference because the LDR resistance will decrease. All right. And then the LDR resistance after 15 centimeter will become constant. Okay. So now in the next part, they are asking, describe how the potential difference across the LDR changes as the distance between the card and the LDR increases. So now, student, it's obvious that the potential difference across LDR decreases from 0 to 15 centimeter. So we have to write here, student, that the potential difference across the LDR decreases from 0 to 5 centimeter, 15 centimeters, sorry, beta. All right, then we have to write here that the potential difference will remain same. Potential difference will remain same from 20 to 30 centimeter. So for this statement, we will get 2 marks. Is it clear to you, student? Did you understand this question, beta? Clear? All right, please write down this statement. I know my writing is not that much clear, student. So I hope you have understood this part. I'm going to clear the screen, everyone. All right, and now I'm moving towards the next part, part F. In part F, what they are saying, when the LDR is covered by the card, the current in the circuit changes. Obviously, student, when we will cover the LDR by the card, so the LDR resistance will increase. So current in the circuit will decrease. So that's why they are saying the current in the circuit changes. Use the student's result from B part 2, D and E part 1. So let me write the values which are mentioned in these parts. All right, B part 2. So where is B part 2, students? This one is B part 1. This one is B part 2. So now you can see when the bright light was shining on the LDR, so voltage across the fixed resistor was 0.8 volt. All right, 0.8 volt. So basically, let me write the values here in B part 2. All right, when the bright light was shining on the LDR, so voltage across the XY is 0.8 volt. All right, now we have to record the reading of part D as well. Where is part D? This one. So you can see the voltage across the YZ is 2.2 volt when the bright light is shining on it. So this is the voltage across the LDR. So let me write here. Voltage across the YZ is, for each one students, 2.2 volt. So this is the value we have taken from part E. Now students, not part E, sorry, part D. Now we have to write the reading from E part 1 as well. In E part 1, we have calculated the resistance when the LDR is in dark. All right, that is 9086.6, and these are the values. So it is better to take the screenshot of this question instead of writing this one, students. All right. So now we have to write these values, students. We have to mention here. Okay. So I'm just pasting the values here. So now what they are asking, use the student's result from this values to show this change in correct affect the total potential difference. And they have given the formula of total potential difference. So how we can find the total potential difference by adding the potential difference across the fixed resistor and the potential difference across the LDR. So now students, this was the condition when the bright light was shining on the LDR. So total potential difference is equals to Vxy plus Vyz. They have mentioned in the question. So we are finding the total potential difference, students. So xy value is 0.8, yz value is 2.2. So when we will add both of them, what we will get, students? 0.8 plus 2.2. What we are getting? Exact 3 volt. So now students, we are getting the potential difference exact 3 volt when the light is shining on the LDR. This question has a weightage of 2 marks, so you have to show the calculation. So now students, you can see when the LDR was in the dark, when the card is kept on the LDR, so the voltage across the fixed resistor is 0.15. All right, and the voltage across the LDR is 2.9. So again, we will calculate the total voltage, which is equals to the sum of voltage across XY and sum of voltage across YZ. So XY is 0.15 and YZ is 2.9. So 2.9, yeah, exactly. So what we will get, students? 0.15 plus 2.9. So let me add these values. 0.15 plus 2.9. So what answer we are getting? We are getting 3.05. So it means the readings are almost same. There is no change in potential difference. There is no change in potential difference. All right, total potential difference in the bright light condition and